Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we're going to be looking at something that I think should be talked about. Did Marvel ruin Mary Jane? And can she be redeemed? What do I think about Paul? Now, before we begin this, I'd like to thank everyone who participated in this, in the poll and everything. And pretty much 81% of you guys said yes, while a lot of the 13% of you guys said never liked her anyway. Which I can understand because, again, it was very controversial. And then the 5% of you saying no. But let's really talk about this here, and why did I bring this up here? Because recently, over the years, I'm starting to realize that for some reason, it's either Marvel doesn't like Mary Jane, or they try to turn her into something that doesn't really benefit Spider-Man. Let's talk about it, right? So Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run, one of the most disgusting and poorest examples of writing I've ever seen in years. Oh, comparable to that Black Panther run we just had not too long ago, where Black Panther pretty much lost everything, and for some reason Wakanda is a divided nation. So obviously they're not perfect, right? So what is the biggest gripe with the community when it comes to the Zeb Wells run? By the way, I heard he never appeared at Comic-Con because he had a lot of threats coming his way. So it is what it is here. And yeah, don't get me wrong, we're gonna talk about Paul later because Paul would have became a pack if that was me. I'm just saying. But so a new villain is introduced named Rodden, and a new character is introduced named Paul. Paul and Rodden are father and son, with Rodden being pretty much Paul's father from the future. Rodden opens a time portal, and or at least somehow a time portal opens. Paul pushes Pete through so that he can come back and get help. So Pete risks his friendship with the Fantastic Four and the Avengers just to get MJ back. Keep in mind, these universes flow differently. However, when he comes back and is able to save them, well, it's been like what, 5, maybe 10 minutes to an hour for him. It's been 3 years for MJ. And she's been stuck here with none other than Paul. Keep in mind that the mindset was they knew Peter was going to come back one way or another, but she wind up having kids. Now, it is revealed that these kids are adopted. But again, it took them so long to reveal this that everyone thought she cheated on him and had kids. Keep in mind, they were in a relationship and they never broke up. Now, what happened before this? We were actually at the Hellfire Gala where Pete and MJ were talking, and for some reason, we didn't know why they broke up. But we were led to believe through years that it was Pete's fault. Basically gaslit into believing that Pete did something so unforgivable to MJ that they could never be back together. And again, fast forward to the new volume, she's with a guy named Paul, and she has kids. So we're thinking like, so who's this guy, right? Like, again, this is before we found out the whole Rodden thing and stuff like that. So we didn't know who this guy was. But lo and behold, Rodden was connected to the whole thing the entire time. Even with MJ's and Paul's kids here disappearing. But we find out they spent 3 years together in this alternate dimension, hiding from Rodden and stuff like that. And knowing Pete was going to come back, yet MJ still fell for another dude. And straight up left Peter and doesn't even give him the proper courtesy of a breakup. Keep in mind that when Peter then gets infected by the sins of the goblin, Peter still thinks that MJ was taken away from him. But lo and behold, Mary Jane reveals that she's a big girl, that no one took her anywhere. So you deliberately chose, the guy that, Peter trusted to protect you and stuff and to not fall in love with, right? And you still wind up falling in love with him and stuff like that. And keep in mind, the Citizen the Goblin run could have been perfect, but again, Zeb Wells dropped the ball on that, unfortunately. But where else do we go with this story? We find out that Rodden is Rodden is Paul's father. However, MJ does something that not only disgusts me, but she has a whole lot of audacity to do. So, keep in mind, she knows Peter very well at this point. And she knows Paul 3 years, right? But here's what she says, right? She tells him word for word and word verbatim that, Paul never lied to her. Paul never, Paul, was guilty about what's happened. Paul was conflicted about everything that's happened here, but she looks to Peter and says, sounds familiar, right? Keep in mind, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, had died due to Rodden, due to no one telling them that Rodden was coming. And again, she saw his pain, she felt his guilt, everything, and she knows what makes him a good man, and she compares him to Peter. Now again, when I'm looking at this comic, I'm like, excuse me? Hold on, wait, what am I reading? You compared this man to Peter? So basically, you dumped Peter, the actual Peter, for Paul. Yeah, I'm really convinced that Peter should have just threw you off the building, or Green Goblin messed up and he should have threw you off the building. But wait, it gets even better, right? Let's talk about PS4 MJ here, who's literally like one of the worst few MJs I really don't like here. So we find out that Peter and MJ broke up in the beginning of the game, right? But here's the reason why they broke up.
Hey, okay, another thing. Sorry, Charlie. You knocked a man out, destroy my background research, and the best you got is sorry, Charlie? Is everything a joke to you?
What? MJ, no, I screwed up. It was a tension breaker.
Tension breaker, right. You know, this is exactly why we broke up.
I thought we broke up so you could focus on your career.
We broke up because you wouldn't stop treating me like a baby. Don't do this, MJ. Don't do that, MJ. Oh, that's too dangerous, MJ. I may not have super spider powers, but I'm not made out of glass.
You snuck into the middle of an armed military... You know what? Can we not do this right now? Please? Did you learn anything about Dr. Michaels?
Fine. Michaels is in the Bowery somewhere. Sable's moving him tomorrow at noon.
Awesome. Anything else? Was he saying something about Grand Central before I jumped in?
He was... No. It was nothing. Listen, I gotta go, Peter. Filing deadline.
Peter. That's how you know she's still mad. Peter. Nice work, Mr. Superhero. Man, I'm worked up. Gotta blow off some steam on patrol.
Now, I want y'all to think for one good minute here. You mean to tell me you broke up with him because he was constantly saving you, right? From your dumb actions. Now, there's a lot of people who compared her to Lois Lane, and I am one of those people. And I understood why a lot of us were comparing her to Lois Lane. Because here's the thing, right? Lois Lane can do that. She was the one who started it. Now, again, did we think Lois was stupid? Yes. But did we know she was going to be able to get out of it? Yes. Why? Because of Superman. We're talking about a dude that can face down Darkseid, Doomsday, Black Adam, the Great Darkness, fight against whole teams of superheroes sometimes, and even face down Justice League Team Busters. But here's the thing about Lois Lane. She's actually proven that she can handle herself. Oh, but the MJ side mission, let's be real. Anyone that spots her, she's automatically dead. At least when, I guess nowadays, Lois Lane doesn't put herself in that situation because she has a family. She understood that. She's grown from it. And the thing is, Lois herself also knows that, okay, she's in this situation. Let me not go out there and help my family in some foolishness like with a piece of kryptonite or something. She actually went and got the Hellbat suit to fight somebody. Oh, wait, remember when Superman first came back after the whole, I guess, rebirth run was starting? Yeah, she tried to get up out of there. The only reason why Doomsday caught them was because her son was half Kryptonian, and he was tracking him through that. So, I want y'all to imagine this, right? Imagine just how Peter felt to really get compared to a guy who was just like him, but he ain't got no powers, he ain't got, nothing going for him, and then you still find out that even despite the fact this girl done lost her imaginary fake kids and stuff here, she still decides to stay with him despite knowing you for all her life. And she was just about to move in with you not too long ago. But because, everything's different now. No, it ain't. Just say you fell for another man. And then you got the audacity to tell a bloodlusted Peter that you deliberately chose to leave him? MJ, that wasn't the time to say that. And again, the writers legit like nerfed a whole bloodlusted black suit, not Venom, but the black suit Peter. Like when he deliberately puts on a black suit to whoop you out. And again, there's also the Spider-Man 2 problem with, again, a lot of people have like mixed opinions about this here, but one of the few things I think everyone could agree with is that the writer or the director of this saying that, well, I wanted her to make it feel like it was a hero. Nobody cared for the MJ section. Nobody wanted the MJ section. This is why it's one of the few reasons why Spider-Man 2 failed, because the MJ sections are too long and some of the other sections are just really boring. Let's be real here. And again, keeping the player entertained should be a thing here. And the thing about it is saying that you don't care if what your fans or what the people buying your game thinks actually harms how the game sells. It's the reason why it didn't win Game of the Year here. There were other games that were honestly going to beat Spider-Man 2 here, like Mortal Kombat 1, Baldur's Gate 3, and then there was also Street Fighter 6, which was absolutely goated. Like the whole Generations thing and them passing on their teachings and stuff was goated. Now let's get into the part you probably were waiting for, right? The whole Paul rant. Now there's one or two things I can say here. It's probably a self-insert. And again, Paul wouldn't have lasted if any of us were Spider or having our own powers, because let's be real here, Paul would have been a pack, a splat, anything if we had our own powers and we were in Spider-Man's position. Because you took the woman I love away from me. The girl that also knows me. And again, MJ's not exempt from this either, because again, she said she made a choice. And she chose to leave Peter for Paul, a nobody. Like, again, I swear, I'm getting Sam Raimi vibes. I'm just saying here. But overall, Paul would have become a pack if it was me. I don't like his character. I don't like who he is. And again, no one's gonna like this guy, ever. But overall, did Marvel ruin Mary Jane? Yeah, from the Sam Raimi trilogy where she was just with everybody and was just toxic, to the comics now where she basically is pretty much one of the worst girlfriends Spider-Man's ever had of all time, and pretty much I don't want to see them together like ever again here. And then you have the sheer fact that they legit have PS4 or Insomniac Mary Jane just like self-inserted into the story, if I'm being honest here. So that's all I really got to say here. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys for another video. Peace.